There are places on this planet that seem almost too diverse to be real, where snow-capped volcanoes tower above emerald valleys, where ancient cultures continue traditions passed down for centuries, where every winding mountain road leads to another landscape that somehow feels completely different from the last. They are places overflowing with color, with adventure, with life. We found one of those places, and it was better than we had ever imagined. This is Ecuador. Ecuador, country number 12, 12. Let's go! Well, folks, welcome to Ecuador, country number 12. That was a 1 hour crossing, bang on 60 minutes. Meg did
we had a chat.
And we had a chat. Meg did all the work. I stood around and waited for things to happen. And yeah, she got us through. So we're gonna go find a camp spot and hang out there for a day, kind of get mildly acquainted with the country, and then we're gonna go exploring. Let's go. We've just crossed over into Ecuador and then drove directly to the first viable wild camp spot on Overlander. It's just a gravel pullout above the town of Rumipamba Grande at the base of Volcan Imbabura. We're exhausted and in need of a rest after a series of long drive days as we finished off our final week in Colombia. We've heard folks say that Ecuador is a bit of a break from Latin America before crossing into Peru and Bolivia. We're not certain exactly what that means yet, but honestly, a break is exactly what we need at this point. I don't have anything for you.
Hey, Flapper!
Whenever entering a new country, there's always a bit of a buffering period when we find we need to stop, regroup, organize, and then we can feel like we're ready to take on all the new sights, sounds, smells, and experiences that are in store. Our previous travels in Colombia presented a lot of challenges, and exiting the country, we were feeling pretty run down. Taking a few days to decompress in a place like this feels like exactly what we need before we travel further into Ecuador.
More traffic.
Next on our list of places to go is somewhere you've actually already seen from the air. It's just the next volcano over.
In only a few short hours south, we'll be camping beside Mohanda Lake, just south of the city of Otavalo. It's a bumpy and dusty ride down the mountain, but we're happy to be on the dirt any day.
Are we even in Latin America? There's a 6-lane highway. What is going on?
It's a volcano. Another one.
What are we doing?
We're going into a market.
Big one?
Yeah, a big market.
Cool. First Ecuadorian market.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Stoked.
I'm scared. Wow. This is pretty cool.
It's been a while since we've walked through a market like this. If I'm being honest, the chaos of humanity that surrounds city centers where these markets often take place has shied us away more often than not. But this market had plenty of parking, was close to the highway, and just happened to be just off our route. Upon entering, we were immediately gobsmacked and seriously happy we had made the stop. The place was fantastic and would leave us very excited for more Ecuadorian markets ahead.
Tell us prices.
This big bag of beautiful strawberries was $1, and this beautiful cauliflower was 50 cents. I feel like I'm stealing.
World's most impressive juice.
It's guayabana and mora, so that is soursop and blackberry juice.
Soursop and blackberry. Incredible.
The last thing we had to get was a bit of ground beef, which required us to enter the meat market section. Meg was a little uneasy around all the hanging slabs of beef, plucked chickens, and chains of chorizo, but I thought it was great.
Well,
Successful shopping day.
that was such a cool experience.
Yeah, I feel like we got away. I got a ton of produce, bread, eggs, ground beef, and we got lunch and a juice, and I feel like I didn't spend more than 20 bucks.
So we're presently filling up with gas, and gasoline here is $2.75 US a gallon. Muchas gracias, buen día. So we just filled up 3/4 of a tank for $45 US. I am very quickly coming to love this country.
Was gas cheap, sweetie?
$45 for 3/4 of a tank. Oh my goodness. Look at this house. It's like a pyramid house.
From Altavalo's elevation of 2,532 meters, we began our climb upwards towards Mahanda Lake, an additional 1,200 meters up. One of the wild things we've noted about Ecuador is how all the secondary roads we've driven thus far are cobbled. They're definitely smoother than potholed gravel roads, but my goodness, they must be labor intensive.
Well, this place is magical.
Yeah.
I will never not see connections to different places in the world from past travels in the ones we're currently doing. And right here, right now, I can't help but see Scotland in the hillsides of this Ecuadorian volcano. And I don't think you have to strain your imagination to do so either. If my dad was here with me right now, I'd tell him those peaks look a lot like the Isle of Skye and hillsides a little bit like Glencoe. It's a beautiful world, and it's all connected.
Well,
Tell me.
we're going up Fui.
Fuya, fuya. Fuya, fuya.
Booyah. I think we'll be climbing to about 4,300 meters. So that'll be hard and cold. Yeah.
We're starting from 3,700 meters. And I mean, we've been at elevation, but we have not been hiking a whole lot lately. So This is gonna be a bit of a bun burner.
Bun burner?
Yeah, it's gonna burn my buns.
It's gonna burn my lungs.
Yeah, that too. Okay.
My heart can't take it.
I can't take it no more. Alright, look at these little plants.
So cute.
It's like astroturf.
Future carpet vibe.
Natural carpet. You dying or something there, bud? So this hike pretty much goes straight up. It's like 500 or 600 meters over, I don't know, like 3 kilometers.
Probably only 2 or 3 kilometers. So.
Yeah. So.
Wicked.
Yeah, we're feeling it. Maximum effort. There she is.
Oh my gosh. I can't breathe.
Look at this pretty plant. Wowee. There's so many different varietals of plant up here. Cacti, whatever the heck that is. These spindly things.
Made it. I think it's quite lucky there's no wind.
No wind, no cloud, not even sucked in. Those are cute flowers. Well, we've spent 2 nights here at this lakeside spot. It's been fantastic, but it's
super nice. Except for me losing sleep over feeling like we're gonna get robbed.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, there's been a few reports of armed robbery at this spot, so I think we were both a little bit on edge. Yeah, so we're gonna head down the mountain and we're gonna go and see if we can get a good view of the Cayambe volcano.
It's the second tallest volcano in, third, I think. Third tallest volcano in Ecuador.
Yeah, and so we're gonna go to a wild spot today and then go find the equator tomorrow.
Crazy.
And go to Quito, so let's go. Come on. Come on. There it is! Woo-hoo! I can't believe it.
We're in the middle of the world.
We crossed the equator. We're on the equator
We're
right now.
on it.
Woo-hoo! High five.
Middle of the world.
We drove
To the middle of the world.
Yes, we drove to the middle world from the very top of Canada.
Yahoo! From
Right.
the Arctic to the middle of the world.
Is this officially our halfway point?
Is it?
No, we passed it a long time ago. Anyway.
Anyway.
Hi there, dog. No. No, you're not allowed in there. You have to keep on going down. Whoa, there's like a viaduct. Well, we found the road to our spot. Let's see if we can make it down.
As is often the case, the volcano we went to go see was completely shrouded in cloud, so we didn't see anything, and instead of sweeping vistas out ahead of us, we tucked ourselves away in a shallow valley for a couple nights. This first week in Ecuador has been a slower than normal pace for us. After our tumultuous start to South America in Colombia, the 15 months of travel that's already behind us has started to catch up, and we're noticing how lonely we've been throughout our trip. Luckily for us, Quito and a well-known overlanders campground is not far off, so perhaps we'll meet some kindred spirits there. For now, we're soaking up the last couple days of slower than normal travel before we really start exploring this beautiful country.
Well, what are you making?
Brownies.
You're making brownies.
I'm making chocolate chunk almond salted arequipe brownies.
Can you say that 5 times fast, please?
Never.
Let's see in the bowl. Ooh. Looks like brown goo. It's pretty good.
Tastes like hot chocolate. You want to try?
So I've been having so many baking fails and I really have no idea why. I've been using ChatGPT to convert recipes from cups to grams. So maybe ChatGPT is doing me dirty. Maybe my baking scale is doing me dirty. But honestly, these days it seems like every time I try and follow a recipe, it ends up in a total mess. A tasty mess, as you can see. But not how it is supposed to be. So this is more like brownie pudding that we've got here rather than regular brownies. And they're kind of weird and oily. But
I think they're good.
we're still going to eat them. We're on a diet. Remember?
For all the human connection we've gathered along the way, we find ourselves longing, even aching for more. Maybe it's waiting for us around the bend, but for now, the silence of the road feels louder than we'd like to admit. For the rest of the week, we stayed put, wrapped in solitude, in silence, in rest. The stillness has been a balm, a reminder that even wanderers need pause. Slow mornings, quiet evenings, and the steady rhythm of doing very little have offered us a kind of healing of sorts. It feels good, deeply good, though not quite complete, like slipping just a few dollars into the gas tank when what you really need is a full fill-up, enough to keep us going, but not enough to carry us all the way. Maybe the next few weeks in Ecuador will be that refill. Maybe within its borders we'll find a softer pace, a chance to stretch out the quiet and gather our strength before the road demands more of us in the next country. South America is vast, and the miles that remain are no small undertaking. We know the terrain ahead will ask much of us. Our time, our energy, our resolve. Still, perhaps this country will provide us with just enough of a reprieve just enough of a breather to meet what lies ahead with open hearts, open minds, and plenty of excitement. Yep, that right there is Cotopaxi, the very volcano that inspired the popular clothing brand, the single most definable mound of rock of the many that surround Ecuador's capital city of Quito, and also one of the many go-to locations we have pinned for this country. We've made camp in Quito at a campground called Coda Vista, one run by a rather charming fellow named Andy. We're not sure if we like him more because he's Canadian or because he's just a great guy. It's probably a matter of equal measure. We've got a day in the city planned. Andy has supplied us with some recommendations for food and sightseeing, and as it's been a while since we've wandered a city on foot, we're eager to see what's down there. So, let's go see. We're on our way to the historic center of Quito. There, we'll take a gander through the basilica before hunting down some delicious Ecuadorian food and hot chocolate. We've hopped into the very first taxi on this entire trip, and when we arrive at our destination, our fare will be a mere $5 USD. Historic Quito is colorful, colonial, and simply delightful to the eyes.
Oh there, bud. Hold your horses, would ya?
The Basilica del Voto Nacional in Quito, Ecuador is the largest neo-Gothic church in the Americas. Its construction began in 1887, inspired by the architecture of Paris's Notre Dame, and was meant as a national vow of faith following Ecuador's consecration to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Though technically unfinished, local legend says completing it would bring about the end of the world, the basilica remains an iconic landmark. Instead of traditional gargoyles, its towers feature sculptures of Ecuadorian wildlife like iguanas, turtles, condors, and armadillos, blending European style with local identity. Today, it stands as both a working church and one of Quito's most striking architectural treasures.
Super.
Beautiful. I love these colorful.
During our time wandering through the basilica, we managed to climb all three towers, namely because somehow we missed this passage that leads from the southern towers over the top of the main hall to the northern tower. We actually did a full perimeter of the basilica trying to find the entrance while scratching our heads in confusion. No harm done. We got the workout that we desperately needed from all of those stairs.
Yet again, my least favorite side.
From the viewpoint in the central tower, we had a 360-degree view of the surrounding city and mountains, as well as the exterior of the southern towers. The climb up was a little precarious, but well worth the views.
Well, babe, you hungry?
See.
Is it time for some Ecuadorian lunch?
Yeah. And beer.
But before we get to sipping some delicious beers and filling ourselves with Ecuadorian cuisine, check out this Chevy square body Popemobile.
Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo está? Bien, bien.
The walk down from the Basilica presented steep streets, colorful walls, and the ever-present view of the Virgen de Quito. As we approached the main square, the crowds thickened, the streets became lined with artist vendors, and the smell of food spilled from restaurants, making our stomachs growl in protest over being so late to lunch. Luckily for us, food was not far off.
Tell me about it.
I haven't tried it. I'm giving you a spoon.
Put it in your face hole.
So the soup is called encebollado, and it's like the famous Ecuador soup. Seafoody and oniony.
What is it? Está muerto. Normal.
Yeah. I think it's like a little pork chop. I'm not really sure. Looks like pork to me. And rice, beans, vegetables.
So yet again, the meals that we ordered, mine was like $3.50 and Meg's was $3. And we get everything. So it's less than a $7 US meal.
After lunch, it was time to sample some of the local beer. We'd been told that Quito has some pretty good microbreweries. And honestly, we had really been missing good beer since leaving Canada.
Let's get some beer.
I'm sure the irony of this place's name is not lost on all of you, considering the Basilica that's so close by.
That's a proper beer.
So now we're in a chocolate shop, and Quito has like so many of these chocolate shops, and lots of times people will come and have like this full chocolate experience where they make it and learn all about it. We're just coming for a hot chocolate at one of them. So chocolate.
Right now?
Yeah.
In Quito?
First time for everything.
Cool.
As far as city visits go, Quito was short but sweet. We're sad we didn't have the mental and emotional stamina to explore other cities like Medellin and Bogota in Colombia, so our visit to Quito is filling in a little for those lost adventures. By camping just outside of the city and taking transit in, we were able to avoid the stress-inducing experience of driving into a downtown core and attempting to find parking. This experience has served well to remind us that it is okay and actually quite fun to visit a city, despite the fact that our main focus is on wild spaces. Quito will remain in our memories as a place of rest, renewal, and overall a really wonderful experience. We remained at Costa Vista for an additional day to catch up on work and get some small errands taken care of. Andy has a really good thing going here. His Overlander's oasis on the hilltop is the perfect spot to take it all in while still being away from the busyness of the city. With our time here coming to a quick close, it would soon be time to pack up and head back into the mountains.
Bye, friends. We'll miss you so much. If the van breaks down in the next week, you'll see us again.
I got a flat tire.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Volcan Antisana was another recommendation from Andy, and a note on iOverlanders said that the stretch of road into the park was a must drive. We don't need much more than that to get our wheels turning. So, let's go see what this place is all about. Well, suffice to say, the iOverlander report was on point, and I think serves well as a precursor to what's ahead. Unfortunately though, as we climbed into the park, where we'd eventually reach the 4,000 meter mark, rain clouds encroached on our view of the mountains in the distance, and our hopes of seeing Antisana began to quickly fade.
It doesn't look like we're going to see much today, but there's some Andean deer. So right there, that's a massive snow-covered volcano.
It's there.
But you'd never know. Yeah, you can see the base of it right over there. Well, how was that registration?
It was good. They're very serious around here.
Very serious.
Can't see shit.
The Despite the low clouds, this area is unlike any we've seen in a very long time. We only have an hour before the park closes, so we're gonna do our best to see what we can and absorb as much of this new and interesting Ecuadorian landscape as we can. Volcan Antisana is surrounded by a vast Paramo ecosystem, a high-altitude grassland unique to the northern Andes. The Paramo here is a mosaic of cushion plants, mosses, and tough bunch grasses that thrive in the thin air and cold nights. Glacial meltwaters feed wetlands and lagoons that sustain an abundance of wildlife, from Andean condors and caracaras soaring overhead to spectacled bears and white-tailed deers roaming the slopes. These fragile landscapes act as a natural water reservoir for Quito and surrounding valleys, making Antisana not only a haven of biodiversity, but also a vital source of life for the region below.
You like this ground?
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's very cool ground.
It's like tundra, but
Oh, look at those beautiful little planties and flowers and all those things. It's wonderful.
how you guys doing?
We so wish we could camp here. What a drag. Unfortunately, the man at the front has Alex's license hostage. I get it. Yes.
Where is it?
Volcanoes over there.
I guess we'll just have to look at photos.
Yep, I guess so. Hello, Webbit.
What do you think of Antisana so far?
It's cool. This is a very beautiful, vast sort of landscape. Just a bit disappointed that we can't see the volcano.
Yeah, there's reason to be disappointed for sure.
But it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, look at all this stuff.
Look at all this stuff.
Luckily for us, just as we began our drive out, the clouds lifted just high enough for us to see the base of the volcano. And boy oh boy, it's a big one. And with that, we bid farewell to Volcan Antisana, stealing glimpses of its snow-covered base in our rear view as we sped away. A few hours' drive ahead of us was the next wonder, one we'd likely see a lot more of in the following days.
Oh, look at it. Wow. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty.
Little babies.
Horse jam. Lots of horses.
You didn't even stop. You didn't even stop. I didn't even have a chance.
To our surprise and utmost pleasure, Volcan Cotopaxi was in full view when we arrived and continued to stand out in the open for us to see right into the next morning. We'd entered into a magical land of volcanic grasslands inhabited by deer, foxes, frogs, wild horses, and one heck of a beautiful snow-capped volcano.
It is one big volcano.
Should send these people these videos. They're right in the friggin' shot.
What does it smell like?
Pine needles.
What does it smell like?
Home.
It smells like home. So shortly after we kind of finished work this morning, Cotopaxi as we're calling it now.
Don't tell.
Totally clouded over, and it's been clouded over the entire day. So it's just been a hangout day for us, and we're hoping tomorrow clears up, but it says Friday is supposed to be real nice, and so if we don't get up tomorrow, then we're going to do both the hike up to the refugio tomorrow or on Friday, and then driving around the base of the volcano. So
We'll see.
yeah, okay. There's lots of frogs in this area or something.
I want to meet one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Make it your friend.
Yeah, make it my friend. It's that time of the month again. Bolognese time.
It's spaghetti bolognese time. You kill me.
A comedian.
This does happen to be my favorite time of the month, though. Let's eat.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Despite weather projections, when we woke the next morning, Cotopaxi was once again out in full view as well as the neighboring mountains. Knowing that weather windows close quickly here, we were not about to go and sit around. There is a vast, pastel-colored volcanic wonderland out there to explore, and that land cannot be explored without wheels rolling and boots stepping.
Well, looks like we are A-OK, green light, time to go attempt to make it to the parking lot so that we can hike to the refugio. And I say attempt because we're going to go from
3,600 to 4,600 meters.
yeah, and that's going to be the highest we've ever driven the van.
We don't know how steep the grades are.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then we're going to hike to 4,800 meters today. So that's where the refugio is. So wish us luck, I guess.
No, wish the van luck.
Wish the van
We don't
luck.
need luck.
I think we hit it at the right time. I really think we hit it at the right time. Oh yeah, this is good.
This landscape is absolutely astounding. Beauty so rich and so vibrant it makes the breath catch in our lungs. In a place like this, every direction you look, ancient stories call out to you. From the rocks, the blades of grass, the formations in the dirt, the ice trapped on the peak of the volcano for millennia. Time has carved its name in the very fabric of this place, etchings so deep that the beauty of this world spills out from deep down like blood in the form of superheated, molten rock. Then, cooling to leave upon the surface tales of epic power and violence. This world, in all of its intricacies, all its wondrous tales, is something worth cherishing, exploring, and savoring.
Will Betty make it?
We don't know. Probably can't really read it, but we're above 4,100 meters, and Betty has officially gone into grunt mode, where RPMs just won't get above like 2,000 really.
And we haven't even made it to the switchies. Oh boy.
Betty is officially
Higher than she's ever been.
She's officially higher than she has ever been. And well, we just got to our first switchback, and it got way steeper than the rest of the road, so I don't think that we're gonna make it unless she just keeps on crawling, which she might. We're down to 1,500 RPM and whopping like 5 kilometers an hour.
What's the strategy now?
We're doing switchbacks on the road.
Uh-oh.
No. Oh, come on, girl.
Oh boy. What are we up to?
Oh, it's just...
We made it to the overflow parking lot.
Just past it.
We're trying to get to the main parking lot, but at least we made it to the overflow. We're just getting to the steep section that may be the limit.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd do a live stream. Go Betty, down down, go Black Betty, down down.
Go, Brown Betty.
She's climbing.
I cannot believe this van is doing this. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, like, we've had our share of problems with this van, but we'll just say that we'll give Chevy Engineering a pat on the back, because right now a 4.8 liter V8 is hauling a 9,000 pound van up a hill
At 4,600 meters.
at almost 4,600 meters.
That is like almost 20,000 feet
Yeah.
for those Americans.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna make it, and then we're gonna walk the rest of the way up to that refugio. Have a cheeky little hot chockey.
Walk down
And keep going. Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know. We have one last steep section, it seems, before the parking lot, and it seems a bit steeper than the rest of it, so
But she's been surprising us, so.
she's crawling. She is still crawling.
All these...
The guys in the truck at the top are gonna be like, why are they cheering when they arrive? That's so weird. We're at 2 kilometers an hour right now, but we have like 50 meters to the parking lot.
Just past here, it like starts to kind of
Taper out
again.
Get less steep. Oh God.
I think she's gonna do it.
Yeah, I think she's gonna do it. That would be really embarrassing if we had to.
She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. Go, Betty, go. Go, Betty, go. Go, Betty, go.
And yet again, Betty makes it where only other 4-wheel drive vehicles have gone.
That's not true.
I love the fact that there's all Toyotas up here, and now we just have a heavy Chevy.
Heavy?
Parking up beside them.
A friggin' heavy Chevy. Only Toyotas. Actually, there's a couple Chevy trucks.
Yeah, Chevy trucks.
Chevy trucks.
They're lightweight and
Some Toyotas.
4630.
We're actually at 4685, I think, is the official height according to the sign.
Yeah. There you go. There's a falcon or something, and there's old Betty. I cannot believe this. What? We made it.
I can't breathe.
All right, babe, you ready for this 1 kilometer hike?
Slog? Yeah. I guess so.
Here we go.
Starting off on a hike, albeit a short one, from 4,600 meters after sitting on your ass for days is not something we would recommend. It's a small grace that we only had roughly a kilometer and something like 200 meters of elevation to trudge through to get to the refugio.
There you go. Just about as high as we've hiked. Way to go, baby.
Way to go, sweetie.
Can you give me a high five? Yeah, there you go. Selfie high five. Well, let's go into the refugio. They just don't make doors like they do in North America, you know? Are those Cotopaxi hot chocolates?
See, in cute mugs.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be good.
This is gonna be good.
This is gonna be the highest place.
Also, we have PB&J's. What a combo.
Yeah. This is gonna be the highest place
We've had a hot drink.
that we've had hot chocolate.
Cheers.
Cheers. There she goes. There she goes again. Bye. Well, this is pretty fun. It's like sand the whole way down, so we can just run. Wee-oo. All right, down we go, baby.
Down we go.
We just go straight over the edge because we can't back up.
When we awoke the next morning, there was significantly more cloud cover around Cotopaxi, eliciting a strong sense of gratitude that we had taken our shot to hike the day before. Luckily, we had captured some great shots of the volcano already, so today we could focus on other parts of the park. An area less frequented by the majority of visitors, but an area we were told by multiple overlanders to not skip. Needless to say, anticipation was high, and we'd soon find out that our anticipation was fully warranted. Out into the wind-swept grasslands we rolled, where shelves of ancient lava rose like forgotten ramparts, and Cotopaxi's peak hid itself behind a veil of cloud. Gravel whispered and crunched beneath our tires as the land opened wide before us. Older fields scattered by eruptions long past, cryptic mounds rising from the plain like riddles left unsolved. Here, we are no more than ants upon the earth, fleeting shadows in the endless gaze of time. A fork in the road bends to the right, and I direct Meg to take it. From above, the track looks rougher, rockier. a touch more technical, just enough to let Betty stretch her legs and to nudge Meg's confidence further into unfamiliar terrain. It's a perfect training ground, a gentle stepping stone. Whether she chooses it or not, Meg is slowly but surely becoming a seasoned backcountry driver, one stepping stone at a time. These small expansions of comfort, built quietly and consistently, will matter later, when the road becomes rockier, more remote, and less forgiving. I think often about these kinds of skill sets, gifts earned only through experience. They may hold little relevance in the world of pavement and convenience, but out here, they are currency. They are what keep us moving, what keep us alive. And in truth, that's part of why we're here. Not just to trace lines across the map, but to grow more fluent in the language of challenge, to collect lessons before they vanish, to learn how to meet the unexpected with steady hands and open eyes. Out here, exploration isn't just about the world, it's about the shaping of ourselves within it.
Well, we've had a chance to give you a bit of off-road experience. How's it been going?
You know,
You
I
do-
just was not born to do this, I don't think.
You're doing so good, though.
Yeah, whatever. I guess it's good practice
High
before I
five.
have to do it manual.
Yeah. Meg hasn't figured out that they're wild horses. They can't be summoned.
them so that you get a better shot. Are you not getting a better shot? You're welcome.
We continue to press on into the park, ever curious of what's around the corner or over the crest up ahead. Cotopaxi National Park is quickly turning into an overlander's mini adventure park. On our way back from Cotopaxi's eastern slopes, we resisted the temptation to simply retrace our tracks. Instead, we turned off the main road and followed the aqueduct we'd crossed earlier that day. Barely a meter wide, the channel clung to the mountainside, carrying crystal clear water down to the communities below, providing drinking water to thousands of Ecuadorians. Beside it ran a seemingly narrower shelf road carved into the volcanic mountainside. With every kilometer, the track grew more exposed. The solid rock and semblance of safety gave way to the empty space beside us, and the mountainside fell away hundreds of feet below us. There was no room for mistakes here.
teeny bit narrow.
After months of wandering through mountains draped in green, the sight of an open, unobstructed horizon feels like letting out a deep breath we didn't know we were holding. Here in Ecuador, the land begins its quiet transformation, hinting at the landscapes we've been longing for, the painted deserts of Peru, Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina, waiting just beyond the calendar's turn. This place feels like a prelude, a whispered promise of what lies ahead. And so, for now, we linger in the moment, savoring the chance to roam through a land this vast, this raw, this epic. Pretty.
Very cool. You want to be friends? Baby, why aren't you following your mom?
Cotopaxi and Antisana revealed themselves as unexpected gifts, glimpses into the quieter, hidden corners of Ecuador, the kind of places many travelers pass by without ever knowing. To stand in their presence felt like stumbling upon a secret, whispered only to those willing to linger. The land here is shifting slowly beneath our wheels, each change of terrain stirring our curiosity for what lies ahead. Already, Ecuador is carving out a place among our favorite countries along the Pan American Highway, and with more than half of it still waiting for us to the south, we can only wonder what new wonders will rise to meet us.
No. Hey.
Is this just your morning commute, you guys?
Meg is maybe about to learn how llamas spit. Oh.
Bye, Felicia. Oh. Oh. Look at you. They're such silly creatures.
I didn't do anything.
You like to think so. Guess who fed the dogs?
It wasn't me.
That is the face of a guilty liar.
What am I gonna do?
No comment. What do you think of this place, babe?
Hello.
It's freaking awesome. Look at this. How lucky are we that we can see these volcanoes?
Yeah. Welcome to Quilatoa Lake. It is a volcanic crater lake in the Ecuadorian Andes, about 180 kilometers south of Quito. It was formed roughly 800 years ago after a massive eruption caused the volcano to collapse, creating a caldera that filled with water. The lake sits at an elevation of 3,900 meters and is known for its striking blue color, which changes with the light and mineral content of the water. The rim of the caldera stretches about 3 kilometers across, and the area is popular for hiking, local indigenous villages, and its panoramic view of the surrounding highlands. It's also one of the most colorful places we've come across in a while, and tonight we call the rim of this volcanic lake home.
What day is it?
It's Sunday and we're having bacon in the van. When's the last time we did this?
Months
Maybe
ago?
Mexico?
Yeah. It's been a long time since we've had bacon.
A long time. Crispy morsels.
Oh. That is heavenly. Why has it been so long since we've had bacon?
It's not really good for you.
Well, that's stupid. What you laughing about?
You're not even beside me.
I know. Just give it a minute.
It's like you don't like me.
I love you. Are you kidding me? How could you even doubt my love for you? How could you doubt me?
Come closer.
Do you know how long it's been since we've parked on a big vista? I don't think we've parked on a vista since Copper Canyon.
It's just spectacular.
Spectacular.
For the donkey. I like how their fuzz blows in the wind. Oh, he's taking a little rest. Oh.
All right, we are taking off from our awesome spot at Quilatoa Lake and are headed for a town called Angamarca, which is where we'll start on a gravel route to Volcan Chimborazo. So we'll see how this goes.
Indeed. We'll see how it goes. Life on the road, and especially life on the road within Latin America, is never certain, and go with the flow is a mantra we never stop repeating.
sat behind these sheeps for as long as it took.
So we came up to this detour because of this rock slide. We tried to do the detour, but they made it too steep for us to get up. But we were able to see from back there that there's actually a road around it. So we've actually managed to get around this rock slide by not using the detour. Just go nice and slow, and
That's some serious road work ahead.
yeah. Phew. All right, looks like we're around it.
What would we have done if there wasn't that little,
We would have taken the very, very long way back.
There's another way?
I think so, yeah.
There's another section that's completely...
Yeah, that's bad. Well, we were really hoping that there wasn't a second slide or cave-in, but there is. Shoot. Guess we do the long way.
Sometimes going with the flow means going back the way you came. Back at the base of the mountain, we jumped back onto the actual Pan American Highway for 50 or so kilometers. This is one of perhaps 5 times we've actually driven on the official Pan Am since entering Latin America, which is saying something since we've driven well over 20,000 kilometers since entering into Mexico. Eventually, our route led us into this canyon, and, well, I simply couldn't keep myself from getting a bird's eye view. After about 2 hours of climbing, we finally arrived near the base of Chimborazo. As is often the case here in Ecuador, the clouds had rolled in shortly after late morning and obscured our view of the volcano. The area surrounding the base is pretty barren and windswept, but we found a curious looking area that could be considered dunes, but the sand had been solidified.
This is cool. This is really cool.
Ecosystems and landscapes like this, believe it or not, are some of our favorites. As we move further south, we're seeing little pockets of the drier, barren, rocky, and treeless places that we set out on this trip to find, and every little bit that we see gets us more excited. It's not to say we're not loving everything else that we find here in Ecuador, but we're drawing very close to a very big goal.
That was fast.
And we are officially sucked in.
So this is camp beside Chimborazo, and it's officially the highest that we have ever camped. We are currently at 4,200 meters, which is 13,380 feet. Yeah, so it's high, and it's going to be interesting to see if we can sleep well tonight. But we'll find out in a few hours.
The next morning, Chimborazo was in full view. 3 sets of friends had come here prior to us and hadn't seen much of this volcano due to cloud cover. And now, there it is, right in front of us, as if it had never seen a cloud in its life.
Look at it!
Should we go to the top?
Yeah, sure, just a casual 6,000 meters.
We can't there.
That is a morning view and a half.
Office.
Office morning view.
This is my office, everybody.
A view like this demands a little bit of quiet time, a little bit of contemplation, and a lot of attention. It seems to us that seeing Chimborazo in all its glory is a unique and special treat, so we're going to savor this while it lasts.
Well, I'd say the weather forecast is pretty much on point. Just a rainy day on the side of a volcano at 4,200 meters.
Yeah.
Phew.
Now we gotta stay inside for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well. She's really coming down, hail and everything. Hooey. We're suddenly in a winterscape. My goodness. Big thunder. We're now in a puddle as well.
In classic high elevation fashion, the weather set in and didn't depart for the rest of the day. The view of the volcano that morning was the last we'd see until we woke up the next day.
So today we are heading up to the Refugio, which is in the clouds. There's not much to see, but we're gonna see if we can get there. It's gonna be another situation of can Betty make it, because we're at 42 and I think the Refugio is pretty darn close to 5,000 meters, which is insanely high. So yeah, and I think there's also snow on the road. No idea if we can make it, but we're gonna try.
Living this overland life, every day is a lesson. From the moment we crossed into Latin America, we've been immersed, sometimes overwhelmed, by culture, challenge, and lesson after lesson. One of the most profound teachers here has been altitude. Since setting foot in South America, we've rarely dipped below 2,500 meters. And even in Mexico and Central America, it wasn't uncommon to casually climb past 3,100 meters. Altitude has reshaped the way I understand our van. At 4,200 meters, barometric pressure falls to 61% of sea level, leaving the engine with barely 55 to 60% of its strength. Today, we climb towards 4,800 meters, where power drops to just 53%. Over 9 months in Latin America, I can truthfully say that most of the issues I have wrestled with trace back to this thin air, a relentless tutor etched into every mile, leaving me with the knowledge that I can apply to our future travels. As we started the ascent from the Chimborazo gate towards the Refugio, echoes of the climb to Cotopaxi drifted through our minds. The road stretched ahead, its grade seemingly gentler, though its true nature remained hidden, its ruts, its turns, its sudden steepness still a mystery. With each curve, hope rode alongside doubt, and we could only trust that our wary, underpowered van might find the strength to carry us to the heights we sought.
Looks like Off-Road Meg has got us all the way up to the Refugio.
Off-Road Meg.
Off-Road Meg.
4,800 meters, people. We've brought the van up to 4,800 meters.
That's the very, very highest that we've ever driven this van. Oh my goodness.
Just deal with it, man.
That was actually so reasonable to drive. They really made the road nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Oof.
Well, what we actually came up here to do, not just to get to 4,800 meters, but I know of a very, very special thing right here. Matt and Stacy, Max and Nikki.
Yahoo!
And guess what? Now there's gonna be an Alex
Slow
and Meg.
over.
Hey guys, miss you. Yay!
The Easter egg hunt continues.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can hear it on the camera. Our coolant's boiling. Despite the fact that it's very, very cold up here. Yikes. Sorry, Betty.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little, look like a cowboy with this hat. We're gonna do a little bit of a hike up to a small laguna that's just slightly higher elevation than the Refugio. And I think it's gonna get us to the highest we've ever hiked in our lives. Crazy. It's just gonna be a low and slow slog.
45 minutes to go less than a kilometer. That tells you something.
Just gotta try. This elevation is killing.
It's okay. It's like doing laughing gas or something, right? It's
Is it
my
like
head's
that?
a little.
Yeah. There you go. 5,000 meters. Oh man. Well, first time in a long time. I've eaten an icicle. Didn't think I'd be doing that up in Ecuador.
Does it taste good or does it taste like a dirty roof? Give me some.
Well, we're going for the lake at the top. And if you can imagine this being like hiking in a tanning bed. Whew. $5,100 meters. Kind of expected the lake to be a little bit bigger.
It's covered in snow, no? Oh, you were just twisting my arm?
Yeah, it's just here.
Stop it.
I'll be honest, it feels a little like cheating being up this high without actually having earned it. That being said, I'm not gonna get too hung up on it. There was an inherent effort in getting here, and it feels good to be sitting at the highest elevation we physically set boots on. 5,100 meters. That is 16,732 feet. That is really, really high.
All right, well, down the mountain we go. We're heading to a town called Baños. It's at 1,500 meters. So from where we are right now, we're going to be descending 3,500 meters, which is crazy.
In 2 hours.
In 2 hours, supposedly. So, yeah. I wonder if we're going to just coast the entire way. Anyway. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's enough activity for the day. It's hard to feel super stoked about Betty's accomplishments when you come across this at, just under 4,800 meters. But, oh well. It's not an off-road road, it's just high.
After a 2-hour descent, we rolled into La Cantera, a quiet little campground just outside the town of Baños. Another gem passed along by our friends Matthew, Stacy, and Max. It proved the perfect place to linger for 2 nights. Resting below 3,000 meters, we finally slept through the night without waking up short of breath. A small but precious reprieve. From here, the famed Ruta de las Cascadas beckoned, a 20-kilometer stretch of highway where waterfall after waterfall tumbles down sheer cliffs into a raging river below. The mountains in this region rise like giants, their flanks scarred with impossible farms clinging to the steep slopes, human tenacity perched on the edge of the abyss.
Folks, we've been camped here at a campground called La Cantera for 2 nights. Just took some time to kind of relax and deal with a minor crisis, but that's all over. And today we're going to go hunt down some waterfalls. We are in what is called the Devil's Cauldron, I believe. It's La Pala de la Diabla and Paya de la Diabla.
The waterfall?
No, this area.
Oh.
Anyway. We're gonna go check out some waterfalls, and then we're gonna go straight from water to desert, because yeah, Ecuador has its own little mini desert. Let's go.
We're gonna see some big waterfalls.
Yeah.
Pailan del Diablo? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's Cascada El Pelon. Something like that.
In the Baños area. There's a lot of water here.
Yeah.
The night before, it had rained quite heavily in this area. We could immediately tell by the amount of water running down this swollen river that we'd chosen the right time to come look at this splendid natural wonder. As it's often said, water is the most powerful force on Earth, and little did we know, we were about to witness a true spectacle of that raw, unbridled power. The thousands of gallons a minute plunged 80 meters from the precipice, gliding into a frothing maelstrom that churned with violent, unrelenting force. We leaned over the edge in awe, struggling to comprehend the raw fury below, a cauldron boiling with crushing power. As we descended towards the thundering column, the very stone trembled beneath our feet, the vibrations stirring up in us a dizzying vertigo, a primal reminder that we stood at the edge of something both mesmerizing and perilous.
They don't smell like anything but they...
As we pressed east towards the next cascada, one called Mache, an unmistakable shift took hold. The air thickened, the foliage grew richer, and the breath of the Amazon seemed to rise to meet us. The descent down the stairs carried with it the unspoken truth that every step down would demand a climb back up. Already, sweat beaded and clung to us, a familiar reminder of our days in Central America, when heat, humidity, and damp shirts were simply the rhythm of life. Five hours of driving later, we had wandered into an area that I could say totally reminded me of Oregon, but contained sand dunes like the Alvord Desert in Yukon, Canada. The Palmyra Desert in Chimborazo province covers roughly 10 hectares at about 3,200 meters above sea level. Unlike true deserts formed by climate alone, Palmyra is largely the result of deforestation, overgrazing, and soil erosion. Decades of clearing native vegetation left the land exposed, allowing winds to strip away fertile soil and create rolling dunes. Today, the landscape is a curious mix. Arid sand formations alongside patches of pine and hardy Andean plants introduced in reforestation efforts. Though small, Palmyra feels like a pocket of desert transplanted into the high Andes, a striking reminder of how human activity and natural forces can reshape the ecosystem.
Well, that's the Palmyra Desert.
Check.
Let's get driving.
Got a big one today.
Yeah.
The following morning, we awoke at camp just outside of Cajas National Park, near the city of Cuenca. Exiting the van, I could see the sun's light climbing the mountains around the corner from where we were. When we flew the drone, we were treated to images of a spectacular mountain sunrise. One like we hadn't seen in a good long time. It was a gift.
Hello. Oh, it's a mini donkey.
Llamas or alpacas, whatever they are. There's a herd of them.
There's llamas. And there's miniature donkeys. And there's horses. What? This is an interesting interracial posse.
It's so pretty. Look at these horses. Oh.
So Meg and I are here at Cajas National Park. It's the smallest national park in all of Ecuador. And it's got how many lakes, babe?
786, I think.
So a lot of lakes.
So many lakes.
So many lakes. And we're-
Parque Nacional Cajas lies in the Andes of Azuay province, roughly 30 kilometers west of the city of Cuenca. Covering about 285 to 290 square kilometers, its terrain rises from about 3,100 meters up to roughly 4,450 meters above sea level. Glacial forces in past ice ages carved the land into U-shaped valleys, ridges, and hundreds of lakes.
This is neat.
Over 230 to 270 lagoons and ponds are scattered across its Paramo landscape. The largest lake, Luspa, spans around 78 hectares and plunges to depths of 68 meters. Established as a protected area in 1977 and officially designated a national park in 1996, Cajas plays a vital role as a water source, supplying about 60% of Cuenca's potable water, and hosts a mix of high mountain flora and fauna in its harsh, cold, and wet environment. All along the hike, I found myself telling Meg how this place mirrored the Highlands of Scotland, pausing often to capture videos I knew my dad would love. The air that filled our lungs, thin, crisp, and sharp, carried both clarity and strain, while the wind bit at our noses with every gust. Above us, clouds drifted slowly across the cliffs and ancient rock outcroppings, a theater of sky and stone. Cajas National Park doesn't dazzle with a single marvel. Instead, it's a tapestry of subtler beauty, broad and timeless. When we speak of it to others, we'll say, walk it, breathe it, wrap yourself in its quiet, and let the simple act of existing in such an old place be the gift. Though our time in Ecuador was brief, it brimmed with adventure until our cup overflowed. There was no pause, no escape, no reprieve from its beauty. Each morning revealed another sweeping vista, another snow-capped volcano, another story waiting to unfold. Its mountains tower with mind-bending scale, its people welcome with warmth and kindness, and the adventures held within its borders are nothing short of legendary. Yet within all this grandeur, we found the rest we so deeply needed. We leave restored, refueled, and ready to carry on. Ahead lie the final 4 countries of this long road south, and with Ecuador's gift still fresh in our hearts, we feel prepared for whatever waits around the next bend. Thank you for being here with us on this journey. We hope our stories and experiences spark something in you. Maybe it's a bit of curiosity. Maybe it's the urge to get out and explore this big, beautiful world for yourself. Now, go chase that next adventure and make the kind of memories that stick with you. Until next time, keep on roaming. If you would like to see behind the scenes content, get route and camp spot information, or if you'd just like to help support us by putting some gas in our tank each month, you can contribute on Patreon. Oh hey there bud, before you go, don't forget to go on over to slowroamers.com to get yourself some rad Slow Roamers merch. We've even got some new stuff in there for you. For additional photos and commentary on our journey, you can follow along on Facebook and Instagram. Well, Ecuador, you smashed it out of the park. Holy smokes, adventure on top of adventure. We love you so much. We're gonna miss you. See you later. Bye.